Sorry. I don't know why it's bumping me out most days. Anyway, here's an example of some of the different segments of this show. I'm just wrapping up Feeling Your Feelings. Today I was talking about panic. It was a pretty heavy one, and so I recommended you might want to stick around for your body and mind, and I'll talk with you how to work through lots of feelings. If you're someone who has lots of panic or lots of feelings that feel so intense that you can't just think through them, maybe the meds don't even help enough. I mean, like I said, I'm not on meds, but I was once. I just couldn't write songs on them, so I am not anti-meds at all. They did really help stabilize a lot of the intensity in my body. A lot of that intensity, I don't look at that as personal. I look at the intensity in my skin and in my body as not really related to me as a person. It's not a value judgment. I know this is not a popular belief, but I shouldn't even say my, PTSD, high anxiety, I think they called me bipolar 2 at one point. There were just lots of different things. None of these are me. They were manifestations of an insane amount of collected trauma that I hadn't processed. This is my belief. Because a lot of them, if not all of them, completely calmed down once I processed that trauma. So now is not a very easy time right now in humanity to process trauma because there is a collective trauma going on. I mean, even politics weren't so intense back when I was processing this trauma. There are so many collective traumas that we are all experiencing right now. Specifically, I mean, I've never been ordered to stay home before. So like panic would be an appropriate emotion. And one of my friends, again, the same friend who's a therapist, but she wasn't my therapist, she was a friend who knew therapy things, and that was one of the most helpful people in my life. Shout out to Gloria. Thank you. Oh gosh, now I can't remember what I was going to say. She said, sorry, I got a notification on my phone about an Instagram post. Sorry. But she said, you know, there was a particular situation that was causing me a lot of stress, and I told her that this situation was causing me a lot of stress and anxiety and sadness and overwhelm. And she said, well, honestly, that situation sounds stressful and anxiety producing and overwhelming. And so I would actually be more worried about you if you weren't feeling those things. So she said, the fact that I was feeling all those things was a sign of health. It was a sign of sanity. So to be in touch with your feelings, even if your feelings are completely overwhelming your system and making it very hard for you to function, to be in touch with your feelings is often a sign of sanity and often a sign of health, in my opinion, and in the opinion of my friend who was a therapist, or is a therapist. I don't know. I'm not in touch as much lately, at all lately. Anyway, I've moved around a lot. I have a weird life. Whatever. Okay, next segment. The present. I feel partly like I should go back and do this one instead of the present today. Or maybe in addition to. So I accidentally skipped this brand new segment called Imaginary Power. Imaginary Power! I'm making pretend theme songs for these. All I was going to do today in the Imaginary Power segment, so we'll do it right now, I guess, was like take you on a vacation in your mind. Okay, here we go. We're going to Hawaii. Let's put on a filter for Hawaii. I don't think I have anything that's very Hawaii-ish. Oh yeah, this bunny one is, no, it's this cat one with the glasses. Oh, it didn't. I've been bumped out a couple times already. Okay, we're in Hawaii. Now, I think that I'm not asking you to look at what I'm doing right now and think that this looks like you're in Hawaii. I know this doesn't. This is just me being weird because I can see myself trying to get you to pretend you're in Hawaii. Okay, let me be serious for a minute because this is a serious show for serious adults, which is my new subtitle on it instead of Mr. Rogers for adults. And then I'm serious, but I'm not going to keep that as the real title of this show. But it is true. I do believe that kids shows like Mr. Rogers were very, very serious. When I was a kid, I took that stuff seriously. He was teaching me some very important things that I needed to think through and work through. So this is what I'm doing. I know I seem silly sometimes, and I know that I drink coffee out of owl mugs, and I wear cute frog slippers, and I surround myself with joyful things, and I encourage you to too. But I don't like to do it, and I don't believe in doing it at the expense of getting as real as you can with yourself and healing and focusing on, oh gosh, I was about to go down another tangent. You know, things this show is about. Okay. So we're going on a trip to Hawaii in our minds, or unless you hate Hawaii or have really negative associations with Hawaii. Although I should tell you, like I said earlier in the show, I have negative associations with Hawaii, but it's not Hawaii's fault. Similar to what I have with Michigan, but it's not Michigan's fault. Michigan is beautiful. I used to call Michigan the Hawaii of the Midwest, and I wanted to live here until I had so much trauma here that I wanted to move away. So is it really Michigan's fault? Or is it just all that trauma, and now when I see things in Michigan, I'm reminded of it? Same with Hawaii. So if you have trauma in Hawaii, or if you have trauma in Michigan, I would recommend you don't do what I just always seem to want to do, which is just run away from places. It is possible to reclaim a place. I reclaimed a song last night. That was pretty cool. I did not want to say this, but I'm going to say it. Because today I've brought it up like 3 times. I walked down the aisle to Claire de Lune. But in hindsight, the marriage was 100% my vision of something I wanted to make, and it was a celebration with my own family who came in, and I had people in dresses of the colors that I liked, and I walked down the aisle to music I liked, and my friends played music, and it was the wrong person, and I'm sorry if that hurts your soul if you ever see this, but it was very much the wrong person, because that person did not treat me well at all. Very, very badly. And I always knew that since pretty much the first year, but I had wanted to get married. Okay, this is too heavy. Anyway, my point is you can reclaim things, because I have very deep love and mutual respect and compassion with a very wonderful life partner now. And we just reclaimed Claire de Lune last night, and it was a beautiful romantic moment in our relationship. And I've reclaimed places with this person I love, Brian. We've gone to places that had sadness. I've gone to places solo that had sadness and written a ukulele song on the side of a street, like on a curb, and it was a place that had held sadness for me. And then when I later drove past that same spot, I felt joy at that ukulele song. You can change the memory and the emotion in a place. Emotion, it's motion, it's moving, it's memory, and it's current too, current like water. And you can change it. You can put new emotion in a place. So I've been trying to do that with Michigan rather than just move away. But I've told you this in an earlier episode. I almost did move away in 2016. And ironically, or coincidentally, or wonderfully, that's when Brian asked me to move in with him, a few months after all of that fantasizing about the Pacific Northwest. And now I've been revisiting my dream of moving to the Pacific Northwest, and then like within a month of that, that's when there was the outbreak, mostly in Seattle, and now there's this lockdown, and I can't even plan my trip there. And, you know, I'm not saying that this has anything to do with my tiny little life, the little ant peon that I am, but I'm just saying that for me, it's A, meaningful to allow myself to dream about that, but B, it's equally meaningful to allow myself to consider that it's very hard to uproot and completely change your whole life. And you can also just take a trip, or even easier, hence this segment of the show called Imaginary Power, you can even just take a trip in your mind. And I think some of us have forgotten how to do that. Little kids know how to do that. If you don't feel good, you're laying in your bed and you're forced to be there, and you don't feel good being there, you don't just think about how you don't feel good being there. You might fall into some escapism as a kid as a very natural defense mechanism from your own discomfort, and that's not a bad thing. And we're taught as adults that that's a bad thing, that we should deal with everything directly. Sometimes this concept of dealing with everything directly is the most rabbit hole-ish negative. I use that concept, but I love rabbits, and they should live in their safe little homes. Anyway, but I use it because I have a song called Rabbit Hole that's all about believing in this like therapy model, or this unearth your past model, or unearth your sadness model, as if digging into and excavating and going deeper and deeper into the negativity is wholly good, as if that's always going to lead to the opposite, without you consciously deciding to choose the opposite, to choose the light, to choose the imaginary trip to Hawaii right now, to release some of the pressure of the panic. It is not irresponsible. It is not escapism and avoidance in a negative way. It might just be escapism and avoidance in a way where there is a wisdom in you that is saying that light and imagination and floating up in the sky in your mind is a positive thing, is a way to like get out of whatever you might believe is more real. Like maybe this isn't reality, to just be staring at all the articles and the negativity and the fear. How is that any more real than right now saying, let's pretend we're on a trip to Hawaii? How is one more real than the other? Both can happen right in this moment. One is me deciding to obsess about articles either by reading them right now or by remembering things I read. And the other is me deciding to think about something else. And they're both real and they're both choices right now. My owl wants to be part of this. So same with past and future. I talked about that in yesterday's show. Past and future and how to get present. Sometimes people can't just get present by saying, I'm not going to think of anything. I can't get present by just saying, thinking. Okay, I can actually. That actually worked. That works too. But for me, sometimes I have to think about this day and this moment, and I have to like allow myself in this moment to think about the past, but to be aware that in this moment, thinking about the past, as long as I'm aware that I'm a person in this moment thinking about the past, then it's me being present to realize that I'm in this moment now thinking about the past. Like they're all in the now. Same with my future thoughts. And it's all in the now. And so this now is a moment. I guess I'm using my imaginary power segment to also help get you present. I don't know how I'll title card this one later. Maybe I'll timestamp it with both things. I say that about timestamps because these will all be on YouTube with timestamps. Every episode up until today. Today's episode 7. They're all on my YouTube. You can find them. There's a link somewhere. Oh no, wait, I'm live streaming. There's no links. I'm really bad at technology. Anyway, so if that's helpful for you. Oh, did I ever go to Hawaii with you? No. Okay, we're in Hawaii. So all you do is you just truly imagine you're there. You can do it. We can all imagine. We all know how to do it. Like literally, you can close your eyes. Pretend you're in your hotel room that you just paid $120 for on Expedia. You just woke up. Maybe it has better color coordination than you have at home, and that makes you feel peaceful. Maybe it's not as cluttered as your home, which you love because you're so sentimental that you have so much clutter. And part of the reason you like going other places, like to your brother's house, is because they're not so flipping cluttered. And then you feel at peace there. But also you love your own space because you're sentimental and everything has memory. He was in show and tell day number 2 because I bought him when I had a really bad root canal. And it prevented me from buying myself chocolate. So I named him Chocolate. But you remember that if you saw episode 2. All right. He's going back there. He's going to play some ukulele. Anyway, so we're in Hawaii, and he's going to play us the Hawaii theme song. Because that's the Hawaii theme song. And you're going to Waikiki Beach. Yep. And you got a full agenda for the day because you only have 6 days there. Maybe you're going to rent a little car and go driving. Oh, yep. I'm going to drive through this little mountain pass. I'm going to go to my favorite little town on Oahu. Yep. I'm going to, I don't even remember how to say it, Waimanalo. It's by the mountains, but it's on the, let's see, there's the windward side and the leeward side. And it's over on the, I don't know, the side I liked, by Waimea. There's a little thing. There's cute little houses and condos over there. Okay, we're there, and we're stopping at Waimanalo, and now we're at the beach. Hey, the beach looks just like where I live, Grand Haven, Michigan, which I call Michigan the Hawaii of the Midwest because it's so lush. But that's okay. No mountains, though. But I'm not complaining. We're just back in my mind. Okay, we're going to drive up north. I'm going to stop at this little place on the beach. And they have like a, one of those things, one of those food trucks. And it has Not just Spam. They don't only eat Spam there. There was all kinds of other really good food. I don't remember. I think it was like some sort of seafood and it was grilled. I don't know. It was good. So we're there. This vacation's great. So see, adults can do this too. I know we're all on lockdown, but you don't have to only think about things in your own house. I mean, and not everybody's on lockdown. Like some people are doing incredible amounts of service right now and helping out in the world. And I'm deeply grateful for your service and your willingness to continue doing that, to be there for other people. But for those of us who are wrestling a different problem of possible stir craziness evolving, you know, let me lead you. I normally don't like being a leader. I will lead you on this. I will lead so boldly that I don't even recognize myself. But this is feelings leading. This is imagination leading. This is how to not drive yourself and others around you crazy leading. How to find joy and peace and the silver lining in a difficult situation that ultimately is not that difficult. Like, oh, we have to like watch Netflix or TV and like eat the food in our fridge. And if you have actual difficulties, I am not talking about you. But right now I don't have actual difficulties. I have my students long distance over FaceTime. My boyfriend has a job. He's working from home. Like, our needs are met. It's just about keeping morale up. And this is what I feel like I was born for. So I will be here every day at 11 a.m. Eastern time. Well, every weekday. Because I decided that weekends are important. Helping add normalcy to my life and to yours. And I still teach in the afternoons and evenings. So, like I said, virtually. So, there you go. There's your pretend trip to Hawaii. Because we all have power. We have power in our imaginations. We have power in our minds. Sometimes I'll use that segment to talk about other things. Much more complicated and heavy things than just taking a pretend vacation. But I thought that was important today for some reason. So, all right. We should go on to the next segment.